My doorbell camera recorded me ringing it at 2:13 a.m. I never left my bed. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, bright rectangle lighting up the ceiling with that cold, familiar blue. "Someone's at your front door," it said, and when I tapped it open, I was staring at my own face in the fisheye. He was smiling like he expected me to let him in. It was me in my grey hoodie with the bleach stain like a comet down the left sleeve. Same chipped front tooth, same dumb calic I never fixed before bed. He looked straight into the lens like he knew exactly where it was. I lay there propped on my pillow, hearing only the baseboard heater tick. The chain was latched across the door. I could see the shadow of it from the bedroom. My keys were in a neat pile on my desk, because I've gotten obsessive about that habit. I pressed the little microphone icon on the app and said, "Hello," and my own voice came back half a beat later from the phone speaker. The guy in the hoodie moved his lips after I did, like he was learning it. "Who are you?" I asked, and he tilted his head just the way I do when I pretend to hear better. I could almost see him thinking through it, like he was waiting for me to supply an answer. Down the hall, on the other side of that door, my building is quiet as a church at night. The old lady in 3B has a white noise machine that gives the whole a soft ocean sound. Over that, I heard nothing but my own blood in my ears. The live feed stayed stubbornly steady, 2:13 a.m. freezing on the overlay like the camera knew this was a time worth keeping. He raised his right hand to knock and then stopped mid-air like he changed his mind. My building has a little group chat we use to complain about packages, and it dinged while I was still watching. "Are you okay?" from David in 2A. He just knocked and then walked away. My name was in his message. I typed back with shaky thumbs, "I'm in bed," and watched the 3 dots bubble under his reply, then vanish. A minute later, "Don't mess with me." Someone else added, "That was your voice, dude." I tried to peephole like an idiot even though my camera was giving me a better view. Through that tiny fisheye in the wood, the hole was empty and still carpet unmarked, yellow light buzzing. Through my phone, my face was inches from the door like a bad magic trick. "If you're me," I said into the app, say something only I'd know, feeling stupid even as I said it. The audio crackled, and he whispered my childhood address in the exact tone I used when they asked for it at the pharmacy. Then he said my mum's old nickname for me, the one she stopped using after I turned 12. He didn't just know it, he landed the cadence like he remembered it from inside my mouth. I called 911 and explained without sounding crazy, which is hard to do when you're literally watching yourself on a doorbell. The dispatcher said units were on their way, like script, then told me not to open the door for anyone. I felt ridiculous thanking her. The handle twitched while I was still on the call, a small musical jingle of metal that made something inside me sit up. The chain lifted and dropped, like an animal testing a fence, and then there was a quiet scrape right where I wedge a chair at night. The clip looped when I tried to rewind, but when I scrubbed slowly I noticed something wrong in a way that prickled the back of my neck. The stain on my hoodie sleeve had jumped to the right side. The camera was not mirrored last week when I recorded a package being delivered. If it was a filter or a prank, it was an oddly specific one. My left ear sticks out more than my right, and in the video the one that stuck out was on the wrong side. He was me, but flipped like a page nobody bothered to turn. The draft in my bedroom was subtle but knew that metallic wood chill that always smells like wet paint even when there hasn't been any. The window was latched, the AC was sealed, the door was still chained. I held my breath to make sure the air wasn't only in my head. The app pinged and put a box around the face in the video, little green corners tightening as if it was getting ready to tag wildlife. "Familiar face, you," it labelled him because I'd set it up to recognise me for alerts. Over it came my own whisper close to the mic, "Let me back in." Back suggested he belonged, and that word did something to my stomach I don't want to analyse. I tried to remember if I had been outside tonight for any reason, but the last thing in my head was half an episode of a cooking show and a bowl of cereal. The event history showed one more clip I hadn't seen, 12:31 a.m, motion detected, a person leaving. I tapped it open and watched myself in the hoodie step out of my apartment, tug the door until the latch caught, and glance at the camera with the smallest smile. I don't drink anymore, and I don't sleepwalk, and there's nowhere I could have gone that wouldn't show in any other way. But the hoodie hanger over my desk chair was damp along the cuff like it had been outside above the stairwell where the pipe always sweats. When I reached for it, my fingers came away cold and smelling faintly like the hallway handrail. I hadn't opened the door, but something in here had brought the hallway with it. On the live feed, the other me bent and slid something under the doormat like he was misplacing a secret. "You hid a spare key," he said in the voice I use when I'm talking to myself, like a reminder I forgot to set. "I do not own a spare key." I grabbed a metal hanger and fished blind under the door through the sliver of space at the bottom, the cheap mat dragging against the wood. A metal clink kissed the hanger, and when I pulled it under, a key scritched across my floor with a little red plastic tag labelled, in my handwriting, front. I was staring at my own handwriting from an angle I never used, the letters leaning a little left like someone wrote them with their offhand. My actual keys, including the front, were still on my desk where I'd left them. From the hall came soft, patient steps going away, then back, like pacing that measured something in the air. The chat led again. I called the cops from David. Stop knocking. Seriously. Another, it's 2:20. Cut it out. I sat with the chain between my thumb and the jamb, feeling the tiny ridges where the metal had warmed under someone's grip. The heat felt like breath, and I didn't know if it was mine. The app pinged one last time, and for a second I thought it was a glitch because it showed my building entry door swinging open with nobody there. Welcome home, it put in a friendly banner that I'd set for geofencing, even though my phone had never left the apartment. I don't have deniability for what happened after, because it's just quiet, and my heart going too fast, and my brain trying to make maps where there are none. Timeline ends with the other me leaning close to the lens and speaking directly like he could see me in bed. Don't make me sleep out here, he said, and the way he said it sounded so tired and so exactly like me that my hand reached for the chain on reflex before I stopped it. I turned the phone face down and listened to the silence, and in the black of the screen I could see my own eyes reflected back, waiting. As I'm typing this, the app just relabeled my face when I opened the front camera, and the box around it says visitor.